but there's been a lot of planning and forethought that has gone into today, and we're very confident that we're going to have a safe and secure election in Virginia today.
Julie Carey, could you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
I do not have a question. Thank you.
Regarding the local Richmond issue, can you say what the resolutions were? We were told some of the people actually put their...
Hi, I have a question. Travis Lawler with the Associated Press. The
Hey,
11
Travis
voters...
Lawler, can you hold on a minute? We haven't called on. There's someone that's asking a question in the room. We'll get to you in just a minute.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, what the resolution was for the Richmond issue, were all of those voters being given the correct ballot? And then just regarding those unreturned outstanding mail ballots, I know you said mail-in was your biggest concern in USPS. Have you gotten a sense about how quickly the mail-in ballots that you've gotten so far, the amount of time it took to go from mailbox to registrar? And are you seeing anyone with mail-in ballot to, drop it off and then use the mail?
I'm going to take the second question first. It was about mail-in ballots and if we've seen issues with folks returning them. I think a lot of folks have chosen to do a drop-off at a drop box or at a registrar's office. We have seen an increase certainly in that method of return. We have not heard specific examples of people having delays in getting their mail back. Most voters are being very diligent about checking and making sure that their ballot has been received, which they can check online and see that it's been received by the office once they mail it back. We have seen an overall decrease in the number of people who have requested absentee by mail ballots this year as compared to 2020. But you can't necessarily attribute that to just this issue. 2020 was a very different time, and a lot of people requested mail ballots because they just didn't know what to expect on election day that year with the pandemic. So it's hard to, make a causation there. On the Richmond issue, like we said, it did affect 11 voters. They were able to only vote a federal-only ballot, but that has since been resolved.
They were given the correct ballot with mayoral, congressional, Senate?
They are not allowed to vote an additional ballot.
Okay. So what's the resolution then?
I'm sorry. You need to go to the phone.
Travis Lawler, you're up.
Yeah, I guess I was just wondering about the voters in Richmond. Do you know what happened? I mean, or why that happened?
My understanding is that the officers of election gave out the incorrect ballot to the voter that had only the presidential race on the ballot.
Again, just to clarify, when you say, what do you mean by resolved then? As in, like, no more wrong ballots were being given out?
That's correct.
Okay.
13 News Now, do you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, in the wake of the voters who were removed from the polls or from the voter rolls due to the citizenship issue on the DMV forms, when they go get their provisional ballots today, if they do same-day registration, what do they need to do to successfully make sure that provisional ballot is counted? Is there any follow-up they need to do?
First, in Virginia, we want every eligible voter to vote in this election. And when an individual fills out a provisional ballot, they fill out a registration form. So they would simply need to fill out the registration form accurately. If they are a citizen, they would indicate that they are a citizen, and that's all that would require.
Speaking of the purge voters, there was a House P&E meeting that you attended back in September. If I remember correctly, you talked about an accuracy percentage on what you believed the system would catch. Were you guys aware of legal citizens getting swept up in the purge as early as September, or when did you guys first realize that legal voters were also getting removed from the rolls?
So let's be clear. We want every eligible voter in Virginia to vote. This is a process that has been in place since 2006. It has been managed and processed the exact same way by every administration since 2006 when the law was enacted. Nothing has changed in the way that process is managed by the department. And it begins when an individual walks into a DMV and self-declares that they are a non-citizen, and there is direct interaction with the individual throughout the entire process. They start the transaction. They are notified multiple times elections before they are canceled and given the opportunity to affirm their citizenship if they made an error at the DMV.
Jeff Bossert with Radio IQ, do you have a question? Michael O'Connor, do you have a question?
Yeah. Do you know how many people were kicked off the rolls leading up to today? Is there an updated figure? And can you just confirm that this is Susan Beals? The audio was just cut out, so I just want to make sure it's you.
My name is Susan Beals. I'm the Commissioner of Elections for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And in terms of, go ahead.
Yeah, just have an updated figure for how many people were kicked off the rolls.
I think the figure that has been out there is the figure that stands. There has not been any additional work done on that.
Okay, I thought there were daily updates to it.
That process ceased on October 14th.
So no one's been purged from the rolls since October 14th?
The last time that records were sent to registrars was October 14th.
Michelle Hankerson, do you have a question? We can't hear you. Okay, I'm going to go to Megan Polly. Do you have a question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay. Just to follow up, just to clarify, so the October 14th, can you explain, that was the last time, what did you say exactly? And if you're hearing from anyone this morning about, people who've had their registration canceled, if people are reaching out to you.
So again, every eligible voter in Virginia, we want them to vote today. If they have any issue with their registration, they can do that at their polling place through same-day registration. That is available to everyone who is an eligible voter in Virginia. To explain the process of what happens at the DMV, an individual walks into the DMV as part of their transaction. They self-declare that they are a non-citizen, either by checking a box that says, no, I am not a citizen, or by providing legal presence documents that indicate they are not a citizen. That information is sent to the Department of Elections. We compare that list to the registered voter list, and then we send those records to registrars for them to process. The registrar sends a notification to the voter by mail and says, we have information based on a DMV transaction that you made that you've indicated that you are not a citizen. We are giving you 14 days in a form to affirm your citizenship. If they return the form, nothing happens to the voter. If they fail to return the form after 14 days, they are sent an additional notice where they are advised that they are being canceled because of non-citizenship status. Anyone who is canceled for non-citizenship status and feels as though it is in error can go to their polling location today on Election Day and same day register to vote and cast a ballot in this election.
Okay, and if they show up today, just to clarify, if they showed up today, would they have, what documentation would they need to provide in order to do the same day voter if they felt like there was an error?
They would need to provide the same kind of ID that every voter needs to provide when they come to vote in Virginia. There's a list of acceptable IDs that includes everything from a driver's license to a utility bill.
Luca Powell with the Richmond Times-Dispatch, do you have a question? Okay, going on to Patricia Beckford, do you have a question? All right, that wraps up everyone on the teams.
And just to clarify regarding October 14th being the last day of that daily purge, if my memory serves me correct, that was before the court order paused it, and there's obviously been days since the Supreme Court rescinded the pause here. So why was October 14th the last day if the executive order said to do daily?
So we stopped prior to the last day of, to October 15th, which is, I think it was the close of books, perhaps, the last day to register to vote in Virginia. And so that sort of naturally, that's normally when we close out our list maintenance practices.
Rick Yarborough, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you confirm if any DOJ observers have arrived at local precincts, and if so, which ones, and if any issue with them being allowed inside? Just wanted to get an update on that.
Yeah, we haven't heard any information about that today. All right, thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you again at 4 o'clock.